Hi there. My name is Amber Howells. I'm a gold leader with Young Living, and I am super thankful that you are watching this video. I do apologize about the lighting. It is sunset here in Lexington, South Carolina, and there's just really no good lighting in my house. So I do apologize about that. But I'm really thankful that you are watching this, and my prayer is that by the time you finish this video that I have inspired you and motivated you to take action and chase your dreams and literally fight for freedom in your life, because it is so worth it. So, a little about myself is that I am married. I have two beautiful little girls. I'm a registered respiratory therapist. I've been one for a little over 11 years. And I love being a respiratory therapist, like, absolutely love it. And for those of you who aren't sure what a respiratory therapist does, the best way to describe it is if you think about the person who manages the ventilator, which is the breathing machine when someone's on life support, that would be a respiratory therapist managing that machine and making all the changes, and a bunch of other various things that we do in the hospital. But that seems to be the main one that people really understand and can kind of grasp what we do. So I loved it. I love taking care of people. I love being in the trauma room at our level 1 trauma center, like right in the middle of everything and literally helping save lives. But what I didn't like about being a respiratory therapist were the hours that came with that job. And so we worked 12-hour shifts, and my husband, who's a respiratory therapist as well, we worked every other weekend together. And so that meant that we would work from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Saturday, and then turn right around and do the same thing the next day on Sunday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And so if you can imagine that with two small children who are 4 and 6, so even imagine this at younger ages. We did this for many years. That required us to wake up at like 4:30, 5 a.m. in the morning and leave the house no later than 5:30 in the morning to drive our girls to my mother's house so she could watch them over the weekend. And it was tiring. It was exhausting. And we also had to work holidays. So there were Christmas days that we missed. There were times, for those of you who, pretend Santa Claus or play Santa Claus in your house, we pretended that Santa Claus would come a day early at our house because he knew that we worked holidays. And so I am super thankful for people who work in healthcare in any type of profession where they're out there protecting us, or any kind of public service job where you have to work those hours, because it is not easy and many people do it, and I'm super grateful and thankful to them. But I knew that I wanted out of that. I wanted something different for my family, and I knew that Young Living was going to be the way that I was going to make that happen. Now, I started using Young Living essential oils in January of 2014. And probably like most of you watching this, it was not something that I was ever going to pursue as a business. Like, I was never going to do that. People would talk to me about it, and I'm like, like, maybe I'll just kind of do it as a hobby. And like, if people want to use my referral number, then absolutely. But this is never going to be anything that I pursue. And so that was me for several months. But after, of course, like everyone else, I started using these products and had so many amazing testimonies. I could not keep my big mouth shut about them. And so I shared them with everyone. And then I really started to see how this job and how residual income that comes with Young Living could really change our lives. And so then I started taking it seriously, and I pursued this, and I started fighting for what I wanted. I wanted to be able to stay home with my girls full time. I wanted to homeschool. I know that's not for everyone. That's something that I wanted to do, and I knew that it would be super hard to do that and work weekends and sometimes work various other 12-hour shifts during the week. I just knew that was going to be really hard. And so I started doing everything that I could to fight for this lifestyle. that I wanted. And so I'm super excited to say that as of 2 months ago, this is August, yeah, so 2 or 3 months ago, I retired as a registered respiratory therapist at the age of 34. And now I get to stay home with my girls and I do a homeschool. And Young Living has completely replaced my full-time income at the hospital. And of course, it didn't start out like that. It didn't happen overnight, but slowly, or not even slowly, just along the way throughout this journey, I've had all of these little freedoms that have really started to add up. Little freedoms such as being able to enroll our girls in gymnastics and dance if they wanted to, when before that would have required budgeting. I would have had to really sit down and say, like, okay, are we going to be able to afford this? Are we going to be able to, what do I need to take out of the grocery budget to make this happen? Those types of things. Little freedoms such as, well, this isn't a little freedom, this is big to me, but being able to pay for our entire week-long vacation at Disney World, which y'all know that is not cheap. I love Disney, but that is not cheap. In one paycheck. With one Young Living paycheck, I can just wham bam, done and paid for. When 2 years ago, for our oldest daughter's 5th birthday, we took her to Disney World and we literally had to save up for almost an entire year to pay for that trip. And just the thought, or just knowing that I can do that with one Young Living paycheck in a few months, that's incredible to me. That is amazing. And that is what residual income has done for our lives. It has blessed us and changed our lives every single month. It has allowed us to give more freely to those that we want to help support, not only in our community, but around the world. It's allowed us to help, raise money to help fund adoptions and just all sorts of foundations and things that are near and dear to our heart, and to sponsor children around the world. Things that we would have really was a struggle before, now is so much easier. So I just want to say for you, if you are watching this, because I want to share, I'm going to actually get pretty vulnerable here and be very honest with you and just share a few things. And I don't know if the other ladies that are helping with this class are going to do the same thing or not. Doesn't matter. This is something that's on my heart that I want to share with you. And I want to let you know that if you are watching this, or if you even, it doesn't matter where you are in your Young Living journey, maybe you're not even a Young Living member, or maybe you just became a Young Living member, or maybe you've been one for 8 years. This lifestyle, this freedom that comes with the income that you can earn with Young Living allows you to do so many things to help so many people around the world, and to do things that you just weren't able, that a lot of people, I should say, are not able to do. But the problem for me for many years was that I was not confident in myself, and I did not feel like I was going to be able to do this. I have a tendency to start a lot of things and never finish them. And so I told myself a lot of lies over the last couple of years. One being that, Amber, you're going to start this and you're probably never going to finish it. You're going to give up on it and you're going to quit. I told myself that I was not worthy enough to earn that type of money. That was just, what had I done in my life? Like, that's what I would tell myself. Like, what have you done in your life to be worthy enough to make that type of income, to do that? I also felt unimportant. I felt like I wasn't important enough to have an organization, to have a growing organization, to maybe speak in front of people or talk to people or try to share about essential oils. I used to think, like, who in the world even wants to listen to me? Like, why would anyone want to listen to me? So if you are watching this video and you have had any of those thoughts run through your mind, I am here to tell you that God created you for a purpose, with a purpose. He created you for a reason, and He created you to do great things. So I encourage you to do as much personal development as you need to grow and talk to people and pray about it. Pray about it every single day and know that you are worthy enough, that you are important enough, and that you can do hard things. You can overcome anything, absolutely anything. And this freedom is so worth fighting for. And I think what you have probably learned is that every single one of our freedoms look completely different because they're our journey, and your journey is going to look completely different from mine and from anyone else's. And that's okay. That's the way it's supposed to be. But I just want you to know that this is worth fighting for. Give it your all. Give it 110% like people say, and the reward is incredible, and it is so worth it. And I cannot wait to sit down one day and watch the exact same video that you record about what freedom has done for you in your life, and what time freedom and financial freedom, how it's changed your life and how it's changed your family's lives. So you guys have a blessed day. Thank you.